thank you guys so much for taking the time to jump in with us here today. I'm sure some of the community members at Caesars might be familiar with the team from Chief Troll Officer. As you know, when we were just hanging out, we did mention we've been on a number of different spaces together. They launched all the way back in January, on January the 8th. So just celebrated their 4 months runtime, which again, you know, it may seem like a short time, but in this space is definitely an accomplishment. And the chart has been looking fantastic as of late. So, you know, the narrative here started with the original OG Twitter troll himself, Elon Musk, you know, changing his bio. It was during that ongoing feud he had with Disney to the chief troll officer. And, you know, as I mentioned, a number of different projects and plays kind of launched around that time within this little mini meta that kind of popped up. And we did have some familiarity with these, with this team specifically here. Initially, you know, launched from a developer that walked away, and CTO became a CTO, or a community takeover. And the chart, the effort that these guys have been putting in has been great. We've had all of our communication with you guys since the CTO happened. And yeah, the narrative has always stayed true. And you guys just had a lot of belief just because of the fact that it was so closely linked to Elon, that there's the potential for those viral moments that could occur at any point. And as a meme coin, you don't want to throw that away. So I respect that you guys kept pushing. And yeah, as I said, chart looks great. You guys have definitely added in some layers of value to users just to kind of keep the Telegram and, you know, the things light, you know, with your Troll-Rekt game and a couple of other things we'll touch on. But yeah, overall, I really liked your vibes in the spaces we had. A1 really liked you guys, and Will as well when he booked you in. I was pretty excited because he had heard you in a few spaces previously and said just you never gave up. You just kept showing up for the community, and those are the types of plays that we'd like to support here. So yeah, with that being said, I'll go ahead and pass the mic to you, Cryptex and Chris, and you could go ahead and introduce yourself. You know, as I mentioned, just maybe start with a bit of a personal introduction as a first.
Yeah, I'll kick off just since I know you guys have probably talked with Cryptex quite a bit. And so, yeah, so my name's Chris. I'm doxed in the project. And, you know, I think, you know, Cryptex have probably told us I'm kind of, in a sense, I stepped up to be ultimately the face, you know, and we kicked off the program with all the public stuff that we're doing. Obviously, as you know, the Elon inspired narrative, it brings a lot of people to the table. And, you know, I mean, obviously tons of degen people, but it even brings retail people. And so we actually were able to partner with a guy out of Canada named Kid Carson, and he had me on their podcast, which he's considered the Joe Rogan of Canada, to get on there to kind of kick off our project as well. And so in a really awesome, you know, I don't know if you call it coincidence or like, you know, thing that happened, we ended up getting a ton of retail buyers, you know, from partnering with a local Canadian influencer. And so that's part of, you know, some of the things that we've continued to, you know, developed. Obviously, we have, you know, the game and the Telegram. We're on 20 plus sites. We're on, I think, like 10, you know, dexes now. We have a 9-page, you know, white paper. We've, you know, burnt, and I want to say, I don't know the exact number, it's 8 million CTO, but I don't know what that exact number is, right around like $14,000 worth of tokens. I mean, we've done a ton of stuff, but what's really been amazing is how well the retail market has accepted. So I call it like the two oars of a boat, right? We've got normal degens and, you know, people that obviously identify with the main chief troll himself, Elon Musk. But then we've had a ton of retail people come in. If you look at the chart, the floor, the stability, you can see it in there. So I think it's amazing to be able to relate to both sides of the aisle with crypto. And we all know in the bull run, right? Retail is going to be coming back. It's going to be all over the TV. It's going to be a huge narrative. And so, you know, that's been one of the most amazing things. So I jumped out. I doxed myself, which is totally fine. I have absolutely nothing to hide. I'm wide open. And just, man, we all got to work. And that's been what, as you named it, you know, is the community, right? Is people and a strong community. That's what builds projects. And week by week, day by day, just like owning a business, just like building anything, everybody in the community goes out and we work hard. I mean, there's been a ton of us from day one that are still left in this project, which is incredible, right? I mean, you don't see a core team that just a lot of times in this space starts out and then just puts in the work. And that's what if I would say one thing about our community, we're good at is putting in the work, right? The whatever it takes mentality and stepping in every day and just, keeping on going, because we've got a great project. We've got a great team. We have game nights. And so we've all got to know each other really well through game nights. We all become, friends, right? And I think that's one of the cool things about crypto that can happen is you can develop a legit, real community, good people. And that's what crypto needs. We need good communities where we care about each other, we help each other out, and we work together, right? And so that's what we've really been able to, pull together and design. It's just been awesome, man. I can't tell you how many people, that actually look forward to coming into the game nights and look forward to trolling and talking and being friends every day. And to me, like, I guess, and I know you've been in crypto a little while, that's what this type of, space needs. That's what meme coins need. Granted, we all want to go, quote unquote, to the, 100, million, $billion big, obviously we all want to do that. But what's really is when you have fun, right? When you have a good time, like that right there is something that I don't feel like very many projects can talk about, like how much fun they are having, how many new friends they've made, like how much of an impact it's just been able to make on that level. So, I just, like I said, introducing myself, and I'll let Cryptex, obviously chime in here as well. But man, I'm telling you, I'm so excited. This has been so great. We've had so much fun. I've met so many. Can you guys hear me?
I think you got rugged for a little bit, but we're back.
Sorry. But anyways, yeah. So it was, it's been amazing, and I'll let Cryptex jump in and kind of talk about, some of his things. We'll just kind of bounce back and forth. But since I hadn't talked with a lot of you guys on here, I wanted to obviously just kick off with myself, who I am, and everybody in the, our group knows me because I'm in there, hanging out and having fun a lot. So yeah, I mean, Cryptex, he's who introduced me really to the project. We'd worked a couple of projects in the past, done a few things. And I'll just tell you this right now. He is, yes, we're quote unquote a community takeover, but he's the dev, right? And he's one of the hardest working devs I know. Man, this guy, day in, day out. When we first got going, he was putting together the white pages. He was listening to all the token sites. I mean, it was like, if I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, the guy was in there working, right? And isn't that what you want, man? Don't you want a dev that's putting in the sweat equity? And hey, look, this guy is laying out a line just like the community members. And so I think that's another reason why so many people have been so easy to commit, because we've got someone who's continually developing, continually finding new projects, new partnerships, all that stuff. And we're all contributing. But man, the development side is so huge. And I think that's one of the reasons why you've seen so many people in our community continue to get strong, right? We've had people come and go, right? But at the end of the day, we've had people come back because they know that, we're going to be there, right? And we've got good development. We've got good backing. We're constantly working. I've got a ton of stuff I could say we're working on, but at the end of the day, until it's official, we're not going to come out and say it. We are working hard, got a lot of good stuff. So anyways, I want Cryptex to come up, talk about his end, and go through stuff. I know you guys have probably heard of him before, but yeah, man, come on up and you tell a little bit, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth.
All right, it's going to be hard to follow an intro like that. I don't even know if I can introduce myself after that stuff. But yeah, my name is Cryptex. I've been in the crypto space since 2016, 2017 era. This is going to be my third bull run. First one, I just spent probably losing my ass and messing around, not knowing what the heck I was doing. Second one, I spent a lot of time in the NFT space and started to dabble a little bit more in meme coins. And now for the past, year or so, year and a half, I've been pretty much full-time, meme coins. I do own my own business privately. So I am at home, all day on my phone, on my computer, and, constantly trying to push the projects that I'm a part of. I consider myself kind of like a jack of all trades, whether it's anything from callers to some of the technical stuff, the CTOs of setting up telegrams and the bots, back-end dev work, you name it. I can probably dabble in it to some extent. So CTO, this been my only task for the last 4 months. I've been in since day one. I took over on day one, and we've been pushing it, nonstop since. Outside of that, all I have is a lounge for some community members of my own, and like I said, other than that, it's all CTO, all the time. So I do commend Crypto Golds or Chris and each and every one of the team members along with the community, because without them, man, I always say you could have all the money in the world, you could have, the best leader at the head of everything, but without the community, like these projects they won't go anywhere. I put so much emphasis on that. I always have, and I think I always will. So that's a little intro about me.
And again, I really appreciate having both of you guys here, and I love the sentiment that you kind of both echoed about the community. And yeah, you definitely have to keep, talking to what Chris mentioned about how you guys go about revealing and releasing stuff to the community. I really respect that. It's so much of what we see in the space is kind of like shallow or like face level. Where they're just trying to build as much hype what they can, right? Like that's all they're trying to do is just push hype, hype, hype. And a lot of the times they don't really have any intention of delivering. So I much rather prefer the kind of build in the shadows, and then once it's ready to go, you really try to shine the light on it. And yeah,
Right.
it's
I mean,
good to see.
From a dev like point of view or a back end point of view, in the beginning, obviously that's when all the hype is, right? The launch can be one of your best free marketing tools, right, as well as your chart. But on launch, we went up to whatever it was, a couple million, came all the way back down. We put in a little work, went all the way back up, and then back down again. But I actually appreciated that time after coming back down, because we really got to fine tune everything. We got to look at some of the details, actually put some real work into it. When things are getting crazy and hectic, especially none of this was premeditated. It wasn't like, okay, let's launch a token, let's put this stuff together, this will be our launch day this far out. Everything was, spur of the moment, drop of a hat type of scenario. So to be able to have some time to sit back, make some adjustments, put out the content, the information that we wanted, and at the same time still be able to build like more of an organic community, getting friends and family involved, I think it's ultimately going to make the difference in the long run. So very appreciative for that. It's like you say at the top of doesn't it say it at the top of Caesar's Calls bio on their Twitter, like community is everything? I think that's a couple places, a couple people have that, and I totally agree.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, like I was talking about, I mean, we there's a lot of cool stuff that we've been doing. And one of the coolest things I think we did was we just released a retail on-ramp, a PayRamp.io. And so, and this is crazy, but up in Canada, it's so hard for these guys up there to get Ethereum. I mean, it is hard. Like their bank accounts get shut down and frozen. It's pretty wild. And I even saw somebody who, I can't remember his name, to be honest with you, is kind of a crypto quote unquote influencer. He's in Canada. He got maxed on like how much he could even withdraw the other day. He was making a post about it. It's just really crazy. So we developed an on-ramp, and it's kicked off with Canada. It'll be launched with the US in the next week or two, to where they can jump on the on-ramp and get signed up and get CTO that way and get it instantly, instead of, and I know a lot of retail people in the US see this, where they'll get their assets frozen or their crypto frozen for like a week or whatever. And so, it sounds simple, but, once the bull run hits and all these people are wanting to jump in, we want to make it simple. We want to make it easy, because for new people, a lot of times it's not necessarily easy for them where it is for us, right? We want to make it very, very, just user friendly for them, very easy. So we just launched that off, and I'm really excited about it, honestly. Like, I think it's a great way to introduce people to it. And, also too, like I said, we're going to launch it in the US. And so, there's just, without getting into what we're doing and how we're going to be able to integrate it with certain people, I'm going to say it's going to be an integral part of what we do, of who we are, and how we're going to be able to, help onboard people in a fast, an effective manner. And so, because we've had members, and this is no joke, that have literally OTC'd 30 to 40 people. And if you're looking at bubble maps, that may not be the best looking thing, but we couldn't help it, right? People wanted to get in, and so we were just doing the best we could, right? I mean, we're just trying to help people. We're trying to build a community. People are excited, and they want to be a part of it. So we want to make it as simple as possible for them to be a part of it. So that I really feel like, to me, that was super exciting to me, because I think everybody saw last bull run when retail started really coming in. Man, it got pretty crazy. I remember seeing, and you guys know, when Coinbase was shutting down and people were having issues, it's because retail re-entered the market. And I think getting ready for retail re-entering the market now, man, I think it's going to be a vital part of what we're doing. Everybody, I guarantee you, every project would love to have a huge retail base of people coming in, right? So I'm going to expect it. I'm going to believe it. And we're pushing hard. Like I said, we're working hard. I believe in our work. I believe in our work ethic, our mentality. I believe in what we're doing, and I believe in the team that we got. And I believe in the identity we have and what we're doing. So I just know for a fact that these things right here will just help aid, just another tool, like I said, for everybody to be able to succeed. And that's really the best thing we can do, is equip everybody, right? And like manifest it. Like I totally 100% believe every day that good things are going to happen. Now, does that mean every day it's going to be perfect and every day the chart's going to go up? No, right? But guess what? If we gained a really good team member that day, man, that's a great day. That's one more person in the crew, in the squad. And I'm telling you, we've been gaining at least one, what I would call, good community member every week. And to me, that is a win, because eventually that one quote unquote good community member will be more. There'll be more good community members come in that want to contribute. And that's how you build a really strong, when I say good, like someone who's in, they're active, they're building, they're talking, they're doing everything they can to grow the community. We've been adding people like that, and that's how you get big. That's where it takes time, right? But here's the thing is, we're serious about the project, man. And so we're all committed. So I can't tell you how excited I am, how pumped up I am, because I know where we're going. I know what we're doing. Like I said, I've been in crypto for quite a little while. Like everybody, I went through the trading quote unquote trading phase. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Everybody should own multiple coins, stuff like that. But honestly, I have so much more fun building a project. I have so much more fun, getting to know people and having what I would consider like building a real business and getting to know people and the community side of it. Like it's so much more rewarding, and it's so much better. Look, here's the thing. We can all make money, right? No doubt about it, right? We can all make money in crypto, and we're all going to, and that's a great thing, right? But man, getting to be a part of a really good community, really accomplishing some good things, and honestly, it's so rewarding in crypto, because like I said, if you guys have been around it for a long time, it's hard to find a really solid community of good, people that, are wanting to see the overall project succeed, right? And so, man, that's what's so exciting for me, once again, is that, that side of things. And so, anyways, I'm just, man, I'm super pumped. If you have any questions, Maurice, let us know, man. I know we're all ears, man, because we're excited to tell you guys everything we're doing.
Yeah, well, again, I wanted to go kind of through a little bit for maybe some of the listeners who are a bit less familiar with that growing process that you experienced going all the way back to January, right? So you touched on a little bit with your intros and your overviews, but I think it does show, it's a testament to the strength of the community and how you guys were able to, make it out of that little mini meta season as, a front runner. So let's walk it back a bit, kind of to the start, and go through, detail some of the challenges that you guys saw kind of in the early stages.
I can start this one off, Chris. So I think in the beginning, I think actually in general, the space to me is all about adapting, right? Adaptation, being able to adjust to what's going on in the space. The meta is always changing. Callers are always changing. The right influencers, marketing, everything is always changing. People in the space, devs. So I think part of that is being able to adapt and adjust. And we have done that, along the way too. I'll try to touch on that in a couple moments more in detail. But as I mentioned earlier, like once the dev left, and unfortunately that's like, even though it was very brief, it was a very sad and disheartening process, that he dumped on a lot of people, and that did scare some away. But like I said early on, it's just like every I'm going to say CTO does in the beginning, right? Where you you start with the Dex updates and you go through everything and just get the main bulk of the adjustments out, so everyone has the correct information. We're getting control of the Twitter and everything. And then from then it was just, a small marketing push in the beginning. That's when we first got on Kid and Walt, and we did a coin merge show. And during this time on the back end, that's when we start making these adjustments. I didn't just type up that white paper in one day. That was a several day thought out process of, trying to put all this information together and coming up with what we thought was going to be the best roadmap, at the time, and starting to make tweaks and start communicating with people as to, what maybe the next steps would be for the token. And again, how we can still stay on narrative and still be, I guess, successful or pleasing to the community that we're trying to, bring on board, right? To all the degens out there listening, right? We want to make sure that we appeal to you guys as well. So obviously, we still to this day stick with the trolling narrative, right? I mean, it's the infamous troll meme that we still roll with, and that's what we do on Twitter probably since the jump. That's one thing that has not changed, is we are always and every day hitting Twitter with something that's, outlandish or ridiculous. And we have had success. Anyone that's interested, if you want to go to our Twitter page and check out the highlights section, you'll see some of our top posts there. And I think we've done well for ourselves. 60-some thousand views, 40-some thousand views. So we have had eyes on the project, and people have thought that our memes were funny to some extent. So that's something that I don't think will ever change. There is a brief little sub-narrative that we decided to roll with maybe about a month in or so. This is right when Kid Carson did come on board. Part of trolling is, and this kind of also ties in with the Elon narrative as well, is Elon is an advocate for free speech. So we did, between that and then Kid Carson being in Canada as well and the struggles that they have there, we decided to maybe make a cornerstone about, free speech in this project, that we are advocates for free speech, right? If we have free speech, we aren't able to troll on these social media platforms that we do. So that was a small little narrative and an adjustment of ours that we made. And then the partnerships from there were just slowly developed. I mean, we did a partnership with Boncrash. That's where our Troll-Rekt game came from. I think the origin for that, or the reasoning that came about, was because I'm well aware, just from my experience in the space, that a lot of people hear CTO and they panic. Oh, no, this is just, I don't know, maybe they're pumping and dumping. This is going to be short term. They're not going to be here for the long run. It's probably just a bunch of community members that are looking, for, I don't know, exit liquidity, whatever it is they may be looking for. They probably don't even have the necessary budget to push the project, to the lengths that it needs to go. So with that main budgeting being a concern of ours, that's the reason why we did the Troll-Rekt game, is that provides us, the community and the token, with some form of income. All we do is we charge a small casino tax, just like you would at a regular casino in real life, only on the winnings. And that enables us to make a burn, every single month. And then any excess earnings, obviously we do what we please. We can pay for marketing, we can make additional burns, and, gives us some freedom to do what we want to do. So that was one adjustment that we had to make as a community, and not being able to have any tokens set aside for the team or for future marketing endeavors. We had to come up with that process on our own. And so far it's proved to be, beneficial. It's proved to be a success. From there, it's been, I say organic because at this point, it is a lot of, we do lose a lot of people at this point. It's the core team that's there. It's the community that wants to stick around, that is dedicated, that likes what we're rolling with and what we're working with. And I think that is one benefit. And I know that Chris kind of touched on it earlier, like about our floor. And that comes from, our community, our core, onboarded a lot of friends and family to be able to stabilize the floor for our project. I urge you guys, this is, like I said, to me, the chart is still a huge motivator. I know that everyone is always on some sort of decks looking at these charts. Zoom out a little bit, look at our 4-hour or look at our daily, and you'll see it is nothing but higher highs and higher lows. So to me, that just shows a bullish uptrend. It shows that we're stabilizing the floor, and that with each and every family or friend that we bring on, you know, just like us, they're here for the long haul. So, and if you don't believe me, again, I think that proof is clearly in the chart, you know, itself. So while we were doing that process, while we were, you know, we had the game up, we're onboarding friends and family, you know, that's when we go into a little bit of a deeper dive and begin some of the partnerships, you know, that we have now. I mean, our Telegram, in my opinion, is set up. I know I set it up, so I'm going to say it's perfect. But from filters to buy bots to the burn bot to the pin messages to all the way down to permissions, you know, it has anything and everything that you guys need. I think the white paper is plenty informative. This is when any last tweaks have been done. And then since then, like Chris also mentioned, one of our newer partnerships, you know, is that pay Onramp. It's an OTC way to buy CTO. Right now, it's for Canadians using e-transfer, and hopefully in the near future, you know, we plan on opening that up to more regions along with more payment options as well. So I think it just, again, I say that it has to do with adapting, because that's what we've had to do, I think, the entire time, is see where the space is going, what direction. We know that the meta has changed. Sometimes the meta changes every day, let alone every week. So to be able to still maintain some interest for the community and be able to push the project, we have to adapt with that kind of stuff. And I know that even the Elon meta may have faded. And I know you mentioned earlier, Maurice, about like the bio. Obviously, his bio has since been changed, but to me, that doesn't even affect, you know, us in the slightest. It's not his bio anymore, but Elon himself as a person hasn't changed. He still throws up funny posts on Twitter. He's still a troll half of the time that he's not commenting on SpaceX or Tesla. And I think that we've done a great job adapting along the way. Chris, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, making new memes, post, that's part of the fun, right? The part of the fun of being in a meme coin is hilarious memes, hilarious, stuff like that. And so, and even being on the VC when we're posting and laughing about it, like, I mean, I just know because we just did a survey with the community. And one of the things that everybody liked was, hey, look, we're doing game nights or VCs where we're not, we're putting out hilarious content and memes, but also too, we're doing it together, right? And so I think that is one of the, like you just talked about. I mean, it's great, from that is to be able to do those things, together once again. So it's been, man, it's just been awesome. And that's why we get excited to come on these spaces to, invite everybody in, like, and even if you're not, we'd love everybody to go ahead and buy in right now. But if you want to come in and be a part of the community for a couple days, a week or whatever, and see what we're all about and verify everything we're saying, come into the community, be a part of it, do the memes, do the raids, get to know us, hop on in. I think that's something I would love to get an invite to everybody out there on for sure.
Yeah, if you guys study the if you're studying memes out there and you're paying attention to all of these project launches, right? Obviously, some of the ones that do very well, like they have good memes, right? They have good content. They put out these these custom memes with their character, and they're doing something meme-ish or something funny, or they take an old meme and they put their character on it. And I think that's their limit, really, is that they obviously these tokens that are bears or dogs or cats, they have to use their logo in some fashion. And I think that that's, again, where their limit is set. For us, we can certainly use the infamous troll meme, I think, that everyone is aware of. But when you see our Twitter handle, it's just the chief troll officer. So we're just trolling like everybody and anybody else in the space. I think that also opens us up to have a lot more freedom when it comes to making the memes. Doesn't have to have that troll face. We're just trying to cause some chaos and some ruckus and some uproar in any way that we can.
That's another important point, right? Like, the name is Chief Troll Officer, right? So like how do you get out there and interact with some of these larger accounts to get yourself exposure, but do it in a way that like positively reflects back on the community and the brand? And that's really where, like, if you can master that recipe, you're going to have a lot of success, right? So what have you guys seen maybe work and not work so far as you've been going, like testing out the raids and pushing that side of the project?
Yeah, so I think you just got to use like some form of almost common sense and like maturity in the matter. As much as I hate to say it, we don't want to make memes that are racist or degrading or sexist or anything like that. But I can tell you, like, a meme that did really well for us. Forgot whose account we were replying to. It might have been Elon or CB Doge or something, and it was about Facebook, about something about Mark Zuckerberg, and I forgot what it was. Either his head was in his something about Mark Zuckerberg, and what was it? Something about his head being in the clouds, or about him being on top or something. And all we did was I just took a picture of Mark Zuckerberg's head, put it in the clouds. That was our post, and that got, I think, like 20 some odd, thousand views. So it's being able to relate to the original poster and try to come up with some comical content to reply to them without obviously, crossing some sort of line. That's my take on it.
No, it's really kind of like how it has to be done, right? Like, and that's like, personally for me, just full transparency, like, when that whole autistic meta or, retarded meta popped up, I personally just didn't even retweet. It's like great if those projects go to like 50, 100 mil. I'm happy if our community buys in, but you're not going to see me retweeting it from our main handle because I don't feel like that's the best representation necessarily of the space or what crypto or the blockchain is supposed to be about. And maybe it sets a bad precedent towards some of these big established brands, right? So I think what you said is super accurate, and it's tough to do. But like I said, if you can find over that testing process, like we call it, what works and what doesn't, you can just refine it. And then, 1 month versus 6 months, your approach at 6 months in is going to be so much better, and you're going to have a much better likelihood of seeing results and maybe getting traction with some of those bigger accounts. So yeah, no, that's
I
really,
think
really well put.
like just to kind of touch on the general trolling side of things. I guess, I mean, it's almost hard at this point to remember like each and every little thing that we've done along the way. But just to kind of touch on the general trolling thing, like we started a subreddit that was just about trolling. It's not about the token. It's not promoting CTO every other day or every other week for that matter. It's called Chief Troll Memes, but it's just crypto and meme coin related memes. There's no shilling of projects allowed in there. Just anything comical that you see about the space, you can post up on that subreddit. And I think in the first couple weeks, we have more members in our subreddit than the big troll token actually has. So I think that in itself shows that people are taking an interest in it, and they're taking an interest in the memes themselves. So I think if you want me to, if you said you were honest, Maurice, like I can admit too, I think we're all of us, especially myself, we're fully aware of some of the weaknesses. I'm not going to be the person that refuses to bring them up, but I know that there are plenty of talented artists out there, plenty of creative people that are in the space that are literally that happens to be their strong suit, is coming up with these memes, with coming up with funny content. I'll be the first to admit that that's not my strong suit. You can ask me to look at something, work on the back end, or take things a little more seriously. That's probably my forte. But being funny, I think some people can really do really well. And if anyone would love to help with some content, I mean, we welcome that with open arms.
And again, like, it's content is very important from a meme standpoint, right? So What have you guys done so far to like centralize that? Do you have like a hub where, maybe some of your video shorts, memes, GIFs that have been put out around CTO are able to be gathered or quickly referenced so that community members, when they're tweeting or putting together, posts about you guys, can just go back and easily grab it? That centralization is really key when you're
Yeah.
talking about a content or a rating standpoint.
Yeah, we have a in separate Telegram group that is just for memes. And again, everything is thrown in there, whether it's the troll faced meme in the image or just something funny. I'll say majority of it is the troll faced meme, but yes, we have a separate individual Telegram for that. You can also find there, I think part of our idea base, is that if we are not using the troll face in our memes, but we still want to do something that's funny, maybe we can just do a slightly transparent, logo in like the bottom, left or right hand corner, one of the corners of the image, to just, let everyone know, hey, this was a CTO, created meme. God forbid one of them goes viral and gets a couple million views. Be nice to have that in the corner. So we have those transparent images, a troll transparent image. Those are all in that same meme Telegram there. And even when you want to talk about the adapting, right? At one point, our main image was just a screenshot of Elon's bio saying, that he was the chief troll officer. And we had to adapt, from there as well. That was another little detail that I happened to leave out. So we did tried to put together some artwork that we thought was relevant. I'm the one that wound up doing it, and my art skills are by no means anything to write home about. But it came out okay, and that's just something else now that we roll with. It's just Elon and a troll with a little article that says free speech and a microphone there, and I think that touches all bases and all aspects of what we're about.
And again, I think you guys have a very, very loud and very positive community in terms of like their contributions. Like I know a lot of people have stepped up, as you kind of alluded to it, and helped, with idea generation, because you're more on the back end side, and I'm kind of like the same. I always joke that I'm great at giving ideas and coming up with stuff maybe for projects and teams to create. But yeah, I'm not going to be the one to go out there and actually build it.
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah, no.
I'm the same way. If I can actually, you know what, I can even comment on that, right? I definitely want to give the community, some love, especially where it's deserved. And trust me, I'm sure every one of us is well aware, like some of the spam and nonsense or scams that come into these telegrams. So we try our best to, filter that stuff out, but we always encourage, like, and this goes for anyone, man. Like if you have an idea, whatever the case may be, like you just got to bring it up. And if it's something that really is, beneficial or cool, I mean, we can put it into action. In fact, if it's something that is like, generating memes or some content, you don't need our approval to do so. We just encourage the community to put it into action, and let's see what comes of it. And in fact, we had a community member somewhere like in maybe about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and they were big into like the street art scene, and they took our logo. This community member did it all by themselves. They asked me once they got some stuff in hand, but really, really took it upon themselves to print out these little cards. He happened to live in California, right by the SpaceX headquarters. He went out, put up some bumper stickers of CTO, took some pictures on a train, did this, did that with these stickers to make some content. And then I mentioned the street art thing because he liked the clothing. He's the one that initiated our merch store. He knew the vendor, he knew the materials or the right products that we should pick, and we just threw together or gave him the logos, and he orchestrated, all of that. So I think that, in and of itself, that's what a CTO really should be, right? Is that the community is coming together, each with their own individual strengths, and utilizing that for the greater good. because everyone has something different that they can bring to the table, whether it's skills, whether it's money, whether it's people or places, connections. And if we put that all together, man, it's like a recipe for success. It's just a matter of doing so that I think is the hardest part.
And if you do look at our videos, we do have a really, I hate to jump in, but we have a really good video guy, I want to say. And that's, even though the video I said to you, Maurice, he put that together last night for.
True.
Yeah, no, that was great. Helped out in a pinch. I know we had the graphic and the banner made, but our video guy was just out and about yesterday, so wasn't able to get on his PC. And yeah, definitely appreciate you guys putting together a little bit more of a branded touch for us in what was it, like 45 minutes? I think you had that done or something.
Yeah,
it was quick.
Yeah.
It was he does really, really good work. Huge contributor. So we, just to back what Cryptex is saying, we've got a lot of guys that are bringing a lot of good things to the table. If you look at a lot, I've had people, because we have an Instagram account, and I have a lot of people that we get. They're like, man, you guys' videos are really sharp. Those are really good. And so we get a ton of positive, feedback on our different socials out there from, the quality of the videos we have. So it's a good balance. We have the funny, hilarious memes, and then we have the really sharp, good, serious looking videos too, which is fun. It's good to have. That's part of the good balance, right, of the team.
And let's go a little bit into, because it still is important, any type of token meme utility, to go through a little bit more on like the tokenomics and the distribution as well. I know a lot of the times when whales or larger buyers are looking at projects, the distribution and the breakdown there is one of the first things they'll go to. So like, yeah, what do you guys feel your distribution looks like in your opinion? How has the community responded? Do you guys get any questions or comments from newer people who joined about the tokenomics or the way it's split on the distribution side?
So the tokenomics, I mean, just like most other meme coins, right? 100% of the supply was released on launch. There are no team tokens. We do keep if you want to consider this a team token, the Troll-Rekt game that we mentioned, our Telegram game. Obviously, you're gambling with CTO tokens there, right? So we do have to obviously have a small pool that we have in place to pay out any winners, or if anyone wants to withdraw. So if you guys want to consider those couple million some team tokens, obviously, you can. But as far as holders go, I think there are a handful of wallets, maybe somewhere around the 10 to 15 range, that do have more than 1%. But I know that, Chris touched on this earlier, that again, our base happens to be, majority like out of, I'm going to say Canada first, and then the United States. And because we attacked those family and friends first, trying to onboard some of these retail people, like, let's be honest, like if you guys try to remember back to your first crypto transaction or opening up your first wallet, I'm sure some of you can relate, with maybe some difficulty or some confusion. So because of that, we have had to onboard or OTC people their tokens just to make it easier. And I know that is going to be reflected in some way, shape, or form in the distribution if you guys go into a deep dive. So I just want to make sure that is still known out there. But outside of that, man, it's pretty good and even distribution. Obviously now at even just somewhere under $2 million market cap, things start to level out like really pretty quick. So I think we're in for a bright future as far as the distribution goes. Not that it's bad now, but I think it'll really start to even out on the way to, let's just say, 5 million.
And then from like the community engagement initiatives, some of the things where people can get active with their token, you guys have your Troll-Rekt game. I did want to have you break down a little bit on the game functionality, how it works with regards to the wagering and claiming of the prizes and how all that is set up.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, Maurice, just to backtrack one step back to the distribution and whatnot. I know, again, Chris mentioned this too, like we have burned, I believe it's 8,100,000 tokens.
14K, I think it is roughly at this
Correct.
point.
Yeah, and that's all. This has all been done by literally 100% of that has been done by either the profits from the Troll-Rekt game or the community. Someone just this morning, a community member burned 1 million tokens. So that's nothing. That's no small amount there. I believe that's over $1,000. So just to let everyone give you a dollar range there. So that's awesome to see. There, there's details in there. We have a burn bot in there as well that picks up on anything. There's instructions if you don't know how to burn the tokens. Plenty of ways that people can make a burn if they'd like to. So, and then I'm sorry, your most recent question again? The Troll-Rekt game?
Just Troll-Rekt, yeah. Just breaking down more so like the wagering process and how that works between users and the claim process on the back end once the game or wager is completed.
So to make it simple, that everyone can kind of understand, we have our own contract for the token that obviously is attached to our own wallet where we do keep the game pool and everything. But when you deposit, all you have to do is you message the actual Telegram bot in the beginning. It gives you a deposit link that you go to, which for security and safety, that link is only good for, I believe it's 15 minutes. And then that link expires. So that's just one layer of protection. You do have to connect your wallet to this, and you send these tokens to this game pool. Now, if they really want to know about the back end, they all are sent to this contract, right? Which is where they're all held. But to give you guys an image, just picture a table, basically like in Excel. Every Telegram user has a Telegram ID. Those IDs correspond to what your deposits are, as well as keeping track as to your bets as they're placed, so that when the time comes for you to make a withdrawal, obviously it keeps track of your balance the whole way through, and then they're just withdrawn from the game pool back to the user's wallet. So the user is responsible for gas on the way in, and then we do cover gas on the way out. And as I mentioned earlier, you can right now, I believe the minimum bet is 5,000 CTO, which equates to somewhere like around, I think it's under $5, even at the current market cap, give or take. So somewhere around $5 minimum bet, all the way up to 500,000 CTO. So even if you guys want to bet big, we do have the ability for you guys to go balls to the wall there as well. And I did, like I mentioned earlier, only on winning. So every winning transaction where somebody does come up, we do take 5% of that as just our casino tax. The game itself, maybe some of you guys, if you're scrolling through like TikTok or you follow some streamers, if you guys watch like the stake stream sometimes, they have that game called Crash, where you place your bet and this rocket takes off, and this rocket above the rocket is this multiplier, and 2x, 2.3, 2.8, 6 point whatever. You have to hit stop before this rocket crashes, and then whatever point you hit stop, whatever that multiplier is at, that's how many times your original bet that you placed is multiplied, and obviously that's your earnings. So this is a similar game. We top out at a 3x, and we just go incremental by 0.1. So it starts off at 1, 1.1x, 1.2, etc., maxing out at 3. And we customize that. You can even, a big shout out to Boncrash. Those are the partners with us for that game. You can ask them themselves, and I promise you to this day, they will still stand by this, that we literally took their game to the next level. They gave us their template, and I hit them with 21 questions. Yo, can we customize this? I want to change this. What about these images? As the multiplier is going, it changes the image 3 times to somebody getting, trolled. Like that's the object of the game, right? Try not to get wrecked, just like we do placing wagers on some of these silly tokens every day, right? I know I'm getting wrecked out there. So the goal is to not get wrecked. That's the objective of the game. But we really tailored it to our liking. We customized all the prompts, all the images, and then even on the back end, I tried my best to come up with some ideas, some implementations to make things easier for the user, easier for us on the back end. And they even made a joke afterwards that once they were done putting our game together, that for future partnerships, it was Boncrash, version Cryptex, because of everything that we changed and implemented on the game. So big shout out to them. I think it's awesome. Cool way to get together. We try to do it, once a week, have a game night, play some music, raid Twitter, just hang out and shoot the breeze for a little bit.
And I do remember you touched on the partnership there with Boncrash, and I know we've had them present in a couple of spaces as well. So yeah, that ability to build and upscale a white label solution just to add value to the community. It's not necessarily, you're pushing yourself as a GameFi project because you have that. It's, it's more of a community value add, and allows people to, even potentially increase their position via the wagering within CTOs. So yeah, it's great to see that you guys have kind of built in those layers for the community.
And I think you'll guys see too. I know I still communicate with Rocket Man, who is the developer of Boncrash, but they're mainly a soul based project, and I'm pretty sure at this point, like, they have no plans on implementing the game for another token on ETH. So at this current time, I think we're one, if not the only one. There might have been one more. So anywhere else on ETH, you're really not going to see this game implemented unless it's a copycat. So that is one, I think, plus that we have going for us as well.
Yeah, and then I know I'm not going to push you in terms of, what's behind the scenes, because you both alluded to the fact that you like to kind of build up and, you maybe leave some breadcrumbs out for the community to follow back, but you're not going to showcase or drop the whole secret up front. So I won't push too much on what's upcoming, but any important timelines or, things that you guys are really hoping to have accomplished within the next couple of weeks, or things that you guys are really hoping to have your community support you to, like any calls to action or really big stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks or month?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Maurice,
Go ahead,
I was going to
Chris.
say this real quick. This is actually something really neat. So we released that 9-page white paper, and if you go look at it, we're almost to do a second revision on there. So if the white paper is going to give you a good idea, kind of some of the things that are about to take place, right? To me, that is really important for us, showing the community, hey, here's a 9-page white paper of what we are going to do, and we're about to have to do a whole new white paper very soon because we're towards the end of it with a whole version 2 of all of the things that we're going to be doing, or just add on to it. We may add like 3 or 4 more pages. So if you want to go look at that white paper, like on our link tree or whatever, and see what we've done, where we've been at, like how we've developed, right there towards the end is kind of where we're at. And so that to me is pretty amazing to see, what our community, what our team per se has done when you look at that. So hopefully that kind of gives people an idea. If you look there, you'll have a really good idea of some of the things that we are about to, do. And we got obviously, lots of stuff we're super excited to, show everybody and unveil, so to say, right? So hopefully that helps out.
I want to say this much too, right? Like, I'm sure everyone has at least one example story, right? My famous one is, the dev is deving, right? Yeah, the dev is dev. Like, what's coming up in the project? Oh, dev is deving, so to me, that's a BS excuse for like, yes, we're probably about to rug in the next, couple minutes or hour. It's you're buying time with dev is deving. But I think with us, we've been around literally since January 8th. We have these community members that we have a survey. In fact, we just put out this week. So we've only gotten, a handful of responses, but I can tell you guys this, right? That one of the questions is how long they've been with CTO. And it was 0 to 1, like since beginning to now, the last month or within the last week. And I think it was about 30 to 40% have said that they have been here since the beginning. So to me, that just instills the fact that the community members that we do have, while it may be a little limited or a little on the smaller side based on what maybe some others are experienced to, that still shows our dedication, our commitment, and I think our follow through. So if you can trust that when we say we are working in the background with many things, I think that is enough proof in and of itself. And hopefully it just keeps everybody on edge until we're ready to make, these announcements. But we're fully aware of the weaknesses too. I know I mentioned that earlier. And right now, that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, is trying to strengthen our core community. Let's get our engagement up on Twitter. Let's maybe grow the Telegram a little bit in size, get people active, get them excited. Let's get some popular memes going out there. Let's get some new memes. Let's get some new content. And, let's make a little, more of a heavier marketing push in these next couple of weeks.
So we have a couple of interesting kind of ideas, suggestions here, and I did mention we typically kind of get to the community stuff at the back half. If anything else that we missed, you could go into it, but you do have some time after the questions to kind of close out. But some of the stuff that I was reading from these questions are typically I don't expect as many for meme clips, but yeah, you got some good ones here. So kind of go in order of maybe how quick they might be to respond to. This one's from Willie Oriason. You guys have pretty detailed instructions on how to deposit the tokens into the game wallet and play, but was curious if you plan to build out like a visual or a video demonstration. I personally, and this is him, that's not me saying that, he's him personally, find it's much easier to watch a demonstration versus reading instructions and trying to go back and refer to them as you're doing something. So that's from Willie.
Yeah, certainly. Willie, great question. I appreciate that. I know that the demo version that we were going to pull up, I'll be honest, that does not have direct instructions or direct video instructions. As of this moment, we did hire somebody, which is already done. Like, this is a little bit slightly in the past, where we do have a actual video or visual of Uniswap purchasing. And that has been brought to our attention before, to maybe have some instructional video on how to deposit and how to withdraw. We do not currently have a permanent artist or graphic designer on board to like that skill set. So that would be something that we would have to look outside to hire. But I agree. Your point has been brought up before, and I think that's a great idea to do moving forward.
Awesome. And then we have another one here. There's a couple that kind of play off of each other, so I'll do it one after the other here. So this one's from Crypto Koi. Do you guys plan on, or has the community ever suggested creating some sort of a lottery system that could be a random draw for people who hold CTO within their wallet for longer than a 30-day period without any sales going on? Seems like you guys have established yourself as a pretty long-standing community, being 4 months old. So this may be a way to further push the concept of incentivizing long-term holding.
Sure. So we haven't done anything like that per se. However, in the past and even currently, we've done, several contests. The one that we have running currently is on our subreddit. It's just quoting a infamous meme. It's the grandma finds the internet meme, where she's holding her glasses with some like wow type of expression, like I can't believe this. And again, doesn't have to relate to CTO, just in crypto or memes in general. That's the current competition that we have. And then I know that even this week in the private team DMs, we're thinking about, bringing something else on board, if not multiple. In fact, I think we have like plans of about 3 different contests of sorts to bring to the table. I just use the word contest right now because we haven't completely narrowed down the specifics. But there is something along those lines that we are discussing. Am I right, Chris? Remember the 3 games?
Yeah. We've got several things as far as on those lines, exactly. And we are about to kind of lay that out, and it'll be in accordance with a lot of the marketing stuff, like you said, that we're really going to be pushing through here into the next week. So yeah, definitely like where that person's thinking.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest too, right? Like, I know a lot of tokens like, and again, this is just, everyone has their own opinion. This is just my opinion on this personal matter. So I'm sure some may disagree, but when I see certain projects, not all, but certain ones doing certain competitions, when I go do my next level of research, if I do just a slightly deeper dive, I can get the vibe that they are almost grasping at straws. I hate to say that, but it almost is like a last attempt. Like, well, let's just try a meme competition for something. And that's not really the vibe, you know, that we want to give off, because we've been here for a while and we don't plan on going anywhere. So I know too, right? And this all stems back to community and engagement. The more engagement that we have from community members, it doesn't have to be huge, but that enables us to start more competitions, more contests, more anything, because we know we're going to have entries. We know it'll actually be some form of competitive nature to these things that we're setting out to do.
Love that. And then the next question, these ones are very much intertwined. The first one I'm going to go to is from Gringy. He's one of our OGs here in the channel. Apart from the Telegram game, have you guys thought about building up a bot for X that could almost be utilized to troll posts, similar to like how raid bots are used, but you can make up a troll bot and then you could almost gamify it. So that's a question from Gringy, and I'm going to read the other question from T-Rex just because they're somewhat intertwined here. I just have to go back. Okay, yeah. I was looking at the website and the game, and apart from the game already being established, have you guys thought about gamifying the trolling aspect of the community? Giving a point system for, replies to big accounts on X, or developing some kind of a scoring or a ranking gamification leaderboard based around the concept of trolling and, generating responses via X. So again, kind of aligned with each other, but kind of different questions. I just figured I'd throw them
Yeah.
both to you and, open mic.
So I have like a little bit of experience with the Twitter bots, like the auto replies. I have also experienced like, I don't want to say like trouble, but it's you catch on quickly that they are trolled responses. To me, it doesn't give off like as much authenticism as coming from the main account, right? Coming with a, like, basically off the top of the head, right? Something that's generated by a bot is, you're not going to get maybe the engagement levels. It may come off a little bit spammy. Again, just from past experience with a previous project I was a part of, we did something like this and it just didn't prove to be beneficial. So that's why we I didn't push this any further, or this idea. But as far as the game goes too, and having sorts of competitions, again, I think we're almost waiting for the point where we do have the ability to make it more of a real competition. Like, we do have a lot of freedom with this game, whether it comes like you can see a leaderboard in there once you start the bot. If we want to put up a secondary leaderboard or reset that leaderboard or change it in any way, like, we do have the ability to do so. So that's not ruled out of the equation. And as well too, like, Boncrash has expressed to us multiple times, as soon as we're ready, we can bring a second game into the community. So on top of that Crash-like game, we could bring a different form. They have a few other choices that we can choose from. But again, just kind of waiting for the right time and moment to actually put that into action. But I could tell you with almost 100% certainty that will be something. It's just where along the lines, we plan on doing so.
Well, and also too, so the community voted for Cryptex to be our AI. If you want to go look at our replies on the X page, man, he's a master troller himself. We decided, since he was part cyborg, he would just be our AI bot.
Right. I wish I was that creative, man. I swear I need some help on that end.
Yeah, go look at the replies. He's out there trolling the internet all the time, man. I'm telling you, I told you guys, he's in there all the time. He's always doing something, and that's the best part about it, right? Like he's saving us a ton of money by not having to do that. So it's a big contribution right there.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
I love it. I love it. And now a couple questions here about the merchandise, because we didn't go into the merch store a ton during the AMA. One question is geared towards location. They mentioned for the Onramp, you guys had specified right now you're starting within Canada. Any geo blocking or any specific locations in which where the merch store is restricted, or is it a bit more flexible because of the way like shipping can work with PO boxes and whatnot? You can kind of be a bit more flexible.
Yeah, so the merch store is 100% like just on demand ordering. As a matter of fact, like the community member that set it up, I just know again just from like experience, there was a couple options that meme tokens like maybe tend to lean towards in this type of scenario, and we didn't choose any of them. As a matter of fact, we went with another provider, and it just so happened that we do use a link trace because it got to the point where between the Twitter, the white paper, the dexes, the Instagram, now the Reddit, the pay on ramp, some of our other partnerships, Toad Swap, all these things, right? There's so many links that were going on. We opened up a link tree, and within Linktree, they have a on-demand merch store where you don't even have to get redirected to another URL. You're just right there in the link tree. The shop opens up and you can put your products in the cart and check out basically almost like right within the link tree. So that's what we're rolling with right now. The origin, I'll be honest, I'm not even quite sure where the merchandise comes from, but I can tell you again, back to like the quality of the materials. I know that we were given a couple options as to like what type of, quality shirt do you want, or this beanie, what kind of beanie do you want the material made out of? And the person that had this streetwear experience, I gave him full trust, and I let him pick the quality of materials, and I still stand by that he made the best decision for us at the time.
Agreed. Yeah, appreciate those questions. That was from Karen and Dev Kelv were the two who were kind of curious about the merch shop.
Maurice, did you
And
see a question from Random Ape? I told him to hit me with his worst. He said he trolls for a living. I said, well, give me what you got. He said he asked the question. I just don't know if I see it either. Random Ape, RO Random Ape.
okay, yeah, no. So he mentioned that you guys had a recent partnership announced on your X account with Sentiment AI. He was curious exactly what the implementation of like their AI will be for the project here at CTO. I think that's it.
Yeah. Sentiment AI it basically just tells you the sentiment of your project, right? Like what kind of vibes it is giving off, like how, again, no better word than the sentiment of the current project, the current chart. It gives you the Twitter sentiment, the Telegram sentiment, and then your chart. So like the Telegram is, they even inform me, like this is on Sentiment AIs, and that the Twitter one is really hard to duplicate and like reproduce, because I guess this goes for all and any accounts, that I guess it's hard for there to be like enough content to go off of. But because there are so many messages sent in the Telegram, you could like miss an entire day of not checking in, pull up the sentiment bot when you come back, and it almost like tells you the bullet points of what you missed. So and so was really active. There's talk of maybe a partnership, and it mentions all of these again sentiments of the Telegram during that period of time.
Okay, perfect. I'm just responding back to a community member who shot me a DM.
Yeah. While you do that, I was going to say, I think our Chris, if I miss any, just let me know. I think our
yeah, he was just saying he tried to run the sent TA in the chat, and he just said it wasn't giving him anything back. So he was just curious if it may be paused at this point right now.
So I believe they also are working on bringing it all web-based. They want to stray away from some of the Telegram-oriented stuff. And don't even ask me how I know this, to be honest. They want to stray away from the Telegram-related stuff, and they're trying to take it all web-based. So we already are on. They wanted to charge an additional fee to put on the website. We're already listed on the web version of Sentiment AI. So that could be part of the reason. I'm not in the day-to-day operations or status of the bot, but I can certainly look into that for them.
Yeah, we can definitely get an update on that for sure. And then, we did just also add, and this, I mean, it's kind of fun. We just added a music. We can actually, when we go into voice chat now, it's pretty much, I mean, from what I can tell, any song that's on Spotify, when we do our voice chats, you can hop in and you can hit that in the main chat in the Telegram. And so when we're hanging out now, we are listening to music. You can jump in, the voice chat anytime, listen to some good tunes. So it may be small things, but I think the small things in development and the continued, effort like that, I think that's fun. But we'll get that AI thing figured out for sure.
Love it. So yeah, again, I wasn't really sure how long the discussion would run, but I mean, I really just genuinely love how you guys have been around for 4 months. It's not easy, especially like where you started to where you're at. Like the community belief definitely seems to be there. You do have good engagement on your social, still fairly organic, sub 1,500 followers on X. So, once you start to really scale that, if you can hit a multiplier of, 2 on that or 3, obviously with what you're doing on the trolling side of things, will just keep furthering your reach. So that's another thing that we didn't really get into much of, but it's kind of like the silver lining that you can expect if you just continue to push those follower counts up as you're going through your exercises, let's just call them your trolling exercises for the day. Your reach will likely be expanded. So yeah, I mean, vibe is always good with you guys. I'll say, probably removed about 2 months from our last space. Nothing's really changed in terms of your attitude towards the project. And the chart is really looking great, guys. So again, I haven't touched on that in a while. I said it early on, but I'm not a chart guy. You do need to get some respect and some credit for the way that's held up, though. Really looks good.
I appreciate that, man. I think it is. I know sometimes people, they might get caught up in like the 1 second chart, or the 1 minute, 5 minute. And, while that all is good and fun for especially some of these fresh launches and you want to really live in the excitement, but if you really want to have some impact on a project, well, I don't care if you're new, first day in crypto, or you've been, in this for ages, you're a pro in the game, like, we'll take anybody and anybody to step forward with their best foot and get involved, man.
And in terms of like what I know what like we're gonna try and do. I don't know if you guys saw Caesar had opened a space. I told him the next time he has one, he just kind of randomly spurred the moment today, I think, for that. But I told him next time he goes live with one of those, if it's not such a busy day for me, I'll tune in and help him kind of co-host it. And yeah, I would love to have you guys up there as one of the projects. Just tune in. I'll let him know, because if he's not as familiar, just yeah, I'll give him some background, make sure you guys get a good spot. In terms of, what's upcoming, I know you have those outlets to coin merge and stuff like that already, but if there's, ever any spaces you guys want to come on for meme culture, don't ever hesitate to hit me up. I'd love to bring you as a guest. I know you already have those inroads, but yeah, always nice to bring good teams and like good communities that are actively working. I don't care what the chart is. I don't care what the market cap is. I've always said if you as a community, as a team show up and, do what you say you're going to do when you come in for an AMA, I'll be there. I'll be there to support you and try and do what I can to help get some extra eyes and exposure on the project. So
I appreciate that, Maurice. I really do. I'll
Yeah,
take you up
thank
on
you.
that all day. We'll take that up all day. And for the person that did ask the sentiment question, I did just put their actual like DApp or online app, the link in the website, directly linked to CTO. So even if their bot is down, this is what they're transitioning to. It's right in our main Telegram if you want to take a look at the sentiment chart.
we hosted actually November, December, but we did host a team from Sentiment AI for an AMA as well back 5-6 months ago now. I mean, the space time just blends together way too quickly. I can't, every time I say a time that's passed, I can never believe it's actually been that amount of time, but that's the space we're in.
That is, man. I feel like a day is like a week, and it goes by so quick. I can't even believe it's 4 months already. It's wild.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out too, like because I remember being on those spaces. I haven't been as active the last month and a half, so I knew it had been at least 2. But yeah, it's man, time 2024 is gonna honestly, it's gonna go by in the blink of an eye. But I don't want to, we can hang out a little bit after I cut the recording here, as we just always do with our community, and just shoot the shit a bit. But in terms of like final calls to action, and then what to expect from our side, I know we already kind of had the initial tweet go up, but once the YouTube video gets uploaded, it'll likely be tomorrow, and at worst case Saturday. I'll let you guys know. Caesar has a few that he's going to have to publish on the main, so we're going to put together a longer post and just let everybody know that a certain AMAs are uploaded. Then yeah, meme culture. If you guys want to come Monday, would happy to have you guys back. It's been a couple of months, so I'm sure that audience would also love to get an update on what's cooking. I don't know when the next space he's going to run is going to be, so just keep your DMs. Keep your DMs clear, and if I reach out, a little bit last minute, because he lets me know he's running one, don't hold it against me. Just would love to get you guys up there. That's all.
No problem. I even shot you, I think it was yesterday too, yesterday or either early this morning. I did send you another DM too, Maurice. So if you want to check that, you can always message me.
I gotta
Chris,
catch up.
doesn't
I know
matter.
we chatted. We
Yeah.
chatted previously when A1 first connected us, but yeah, just complete transparency. I've been dealing with some stuff offline like the last couple of months, and these last like 2 weeks have really been busy. I kind of mentioned it to Chris a little bit, but yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on for me
I,
the last
I can
couple
only
of weeks.
I can only imagine. If you remember, actually, I still laugh when I think about it. I sent you a message, and what I was trying to say to you was, "Hey, do you have a minute for me to pick your brain?" And autocorrect changed it to lick. So you read, "I want to lick your brain," and you you even started laughing, and you said you were in the middle of spaces or whatever it was, and I just still to this day I think that was a pretty funny moment.
That's good. Yeah, I do remember. I do remember that. I was like, yo, I think I sent a funny
Right,
gift back or something. I probably was
right,
like, yo,
right.
pump. Based on myself, if I read that, I'd probably hit you back with the Will Hader from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He's like, yo, pump the brakes.
Right, right. You did. I'll give you credit on the meme. You did send some meme back. I wish I could recall what it was, but you're right on that part, man. You did hit me back with a meme.
And no, so I mean, I like I said, guys, in my write-up and in the VC opener as well as my intro, I did have some familiarity with CTO. I really liked the attitude, the vibe these guys had in our spaces previously. And yeah, it's just, it's really cool to see that they've just kept pushing. It's you, I always say it's a thankless job running a project or working behind the scenes on something. So, it's nice to at least see that the chart is reflective of the efforts in this situation where that's not always the case, I will say.
Yeah, you said it, man. You said it. But you know what? At the end of the day, like they're probably few and far between out there. But there are some that really do show some appreciation and some gratitude. And I'm not asking for it, but when I do hear it, obviously that even if it's just one person, man, like that, that makes my day more than I think they realize.
Again, I've never cared about the charts. I've always just cared if people show up and, try and do what
Right.
they can to make a project work. That's all you can do in this space. Unless unless you have these
I'm
massive like market
even
makers or
in
anything
the
where they're just manipulating the volume. Like it's just, you got to show up. That's the only way to kind of succeed.
right. And I don't think that we have, really, we don't have, there's no manipulation on that front. There are no market makers in play. If anything, man, that's why I started that community that I did, that little lounge, was just to really try to help some people out, some people that might be newer in the space or don't know, maybe like what some of the trading bots are, banana gun, or how to read a contract, or maybe some things to look for. I mean, for anyone even less that's left listening, like, I can tell you some of the partnerships. What was it? Toad Swap, Sentiment, but that might have
And
changed
Toad
now.
Swap is awesome. I will say I love those guys over there at
They're
Toad
great.
Swap. We've had James, and who else do we have on the spaces over time? James has been the one who's been doing the last few, but
Okay. So them.
yeah.
What about Broccoli Swap?
Not as familiar with them, but I did see you guys are partnered with them. I like their branding. That's the one thing,
Yeah,
for
they're
lack
cool
of
too.
familiarity.
And then I think so. Those, and then another one that I bet you no one is familiar with that we partnered with was Spybox. And all that does is you just put in your tokens Twitter account, and then to me, this is all bullish. It sends you notifications in your Telegram anytime someone follows your Twitter account. So not only are you current with the community, and the team are current on, okay, this person just followed or that person, but when you do get some people, maybe if it's an influencer or somebody with some type of clout, I mean, to me, that's nothing but bullish. Even if you're just getting a ton of follows, it's like, oh shit, man, what we're doing is working right now. And those guys are pretty new. Those are free partnerships for anyone else that's listening. Like, if you guys are part of tokens and you want a little exposure, and you want something that, just something small to show that you're trying to push the envelope in the best way that you can, reach out to some of those guys, man. The Toad Swap, Spybox, those Broccoli, like those dudes will all be willing to have you.
Swap's great. Gasless swap, MEV
Right.
protection, lots of cool features with that one.
That's it,
Yeah,
man. I think they even
I don't
don't
even
they
know
even
how many
have
spaces we've been on with them on CoinMerge. They've been on probably 5 to 10, going back like 2 years now. So
I think, don't they even have a referral code? So like if you refer
I
someone, you
think
get
there
like,
is like a pretty decent commission
yeah.
process as well set up there. So yeah, definitely. You guys seem like you have some good ones, not necessarily, all just like, you're not necessarily just looking for the most follower counts on who you partner with. You're trying to find
No,
some,
no. I
maybe
think
some undervalued ones out there that can, add some good, maybe just, I think that the Twitter follower one's cool because you can kind of see a direct ROI on what's working and what's not on
exactly.
your raids and, some of the initiatives you push out with
I'll tell
contests.
you what,
So
Maurice, they're low key. Like I think we were the second partner, or they might even consider us the first real partner that we had. And I'm telling you, they're kind of low key blowing up. I watch their Twitter and stuff, and I'm seeing partnerships coming left and right now. It's easy graphic, easy to read. Like, highly recommend, man.
yo
Highly.
guys, just got some alpha drop there from Cryptex
There you go.
on Spybox. There you go. You can go check out one of their other partners. But yeah, no, in terms of the, final calls to action, closing out the AMA, I know this is not the last time we're going to be, on the mic with you guys. Most recent, like the next one, based on date scheduled right now would be Monday. But hey, if Caesar opens an impromptu shill space on the weekend, I'll definitely let you know, and would love to have you guys kind of pop on the mic and, tell everybody on our end and, some of the other communities that tune in all about CTO. Genuinely like your vibes, and, 4 months is nothing to bet you're out. Like it's not an easy feat to accomplish as a meme coin that's come from a community takeover. So great work. Keep it up. Again, call to action to all the apes here. Jump into their community, stay up to date, ask questions if they couldn't get answered throughout the AMA, because there's not everything got covered. And then, yeah, just again, do your research, but really like this one. And we're going to continue to try and help get them some exposure and, work together in the future.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it for sure, Maurice. And I would just say this just real quick for everybody. Man, I welcome you guys to come to a game night, to come hang out with us. Jump in the Telegram. I see a bunch of hands still raised, and we'd love to. Some of us are going to jump on the VC in there. Ask a bunch of questions right there. Jump on in right now. It's really easy to top in there. I know that I see I think 5 hands still raised. So guys, come in. We'd love to answer any questions. We'd love to get to know you, get to meet you. So everybody, come on in, get to know everybody in the community.
Chris, what do we do on game night? What do they get?
Yeah, so you get free CTO, and so you'll get 10,000 free CTO. You get to play the game. Then we've even done some competitions where the best troll up there, throughout the night, we've given away 100,000 CTO. So we do a lot of fun stuff like that, where just for coming and having a great time, you earn free CTO. So we want to invite you guys for that, because we'll put together a date today. We'll get a date ironed out as the community, so everybody can come in for sure.
Maurice, the last thing that I just wanted to say, and kind of just to touch on what Chris said, is we are about the transparency. So if anyone does have any remaining questions, whether that's now or at a future time, I mean, we don't hide any wallets. The game pool is known. Like we are 100% transparent. I wish I could tell everyone every little development that we had with every little partnership, but that's just not, that's not plausible. That's not really appropriate. But anything that I can answer and that I can divulge without, over promising and under delivering, I 100% do. So again, if anyone has questions, man, you just got to ask.
Mike just rugged me. Are we good?
Now you're good.
Okay, you're good now. Yeah.
I was getting the spinning connecting sign when I tried to come off mute there at first. And I know Buck had to open the call for me because it kept telling me I was offline on my phone, even though I was staring at Telegram. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm on the app, but okay. No, great presentation, guys. Again, I know I ran it a little bit longer than expected, but yeah, great discussion. Love your attitudes towards the community that you're building and the space just in general. Yeah, just really good. It's been a couple of months, so nice catching up. I hope, the market and everything is, hasn't impacted you guys. You guys have stayed positive. Looking forward to summer too. I mean, I think once the weather turns, I do find everybody's mood often picks up. And although maybe we're not as active because the nice weather online or in front of a screen, I do feel like the time spent online is much better when people are in a better mood. The winter sucks. Let's just say that.
Well, the bull market's going to bring the vibe up. We all know that. We all saw just the quick run up, man. I know everybody was loving that vibe.
I got so excited, man.
Yeah, we all know it's coming, right? Like, so, I mean, what is it? They've done the graphs of 60, 90, 120-ish days, somewhere in that box after the halving. It's just pretty predictable. So, the people there, the teams or communities that are working the hardest now, they're going to reap the most rewards and the most benefits as this pulls together. So, super excited to be running with you guys through this bull market for sure.
Yeah, big shout out to you, Maurice, and Caesar's calls, the whole team. Really appreciate you guys letting us come on here and give some information about CTO. And really, I commend you on how you uphold yourself, man, in all the spaces, despite the drama, everything. You always maintain a pretty professional demeanor, and I can respect that.
I always joke it's kind of easier for me because I got Caesar over there who gets into enough drama for both of us. I can just kind of do my thing.
right.
Yeah, no, but it's good. I always tease him just because him and I have been friends for so long. So I always joke. I'm like, man, if somebody probably tuned in for the first time, didn't understand our relationship or dynamic, they'd probably be like, dude, why is this guy working for him? He doesn't even seem like he likes God. I'm like, no, we're just like, we've been friends for so long. Like, we're just, he could say anything to me, I'll say anything to him. It literally would not negatively impact the other one. And just kind of, we troll each other a ton. So yeah, I mean, you guys know what that's all about over at CTO.
Hell yeah, man. You gotta have
Exactly.
as much as sometimes like the space aggravates us, and it may be frustrating, it may be emotional. Like, you do have to try to enjoy some of the good times, man. Because ultimately, like, I know we're here to make some money, but hopefully it's making some money while having a good time, So laugh every once in a while, a little troll every once in a while. I never hurt nobody.
Exactly. That's the way to do it. Have a good time and make some money. And I think that's the narrative and the vibe that CTO is really trying to push. And also, we didn't even really get into the narrative on the around the freedom of speech side of things and what you guys are doing there. I mean, there's just so much. Like, again, like you touched on it a bit, but we didn't go into it as deep as maybe we could have. So for a future space or AMA, we'll go into that a little bit more as well. We can keep kind of touching on different aspects of the project, so there's not a ton of overlap too.
Yeah, it's the good thing. We got a lot going on. There's really a ton to talk about. So excited to. I mean, I guess if we get in one of those marathon 6-hour spaces, we can get into all this stuff, right? And so that's the good thing, man. There's a lot to talk about. I'm excited about this spaces you guys got coming up, and we'll be on there, man. We'll love to hang out and talk and go through everything. So yeah, like Cryptex said, man, really appreciate it.